Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is that your car on the lot?
Yeah.
It's a Jag?
Yeah.
How much money you make?
I don't know, 72,000 last month.
You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you. Hey, listen, I quit. Yeah, I'm going into stock.
I started my own firm out of an abandoned auto body shop. We will be targeting the wealthiest 1% of Americans.
I love three things. I love my country, I love Jesus Christ, and I love making people rich. Hello?
But I needed to mold them in my own image. With this script, I'm going to teach each and every one of you to be the best.
This is the greatest company in the world!
That was a clip of Wolf of Wall Street, which opens in theaters today. Here to tell us what you can watch this Christmas Day is Jason Gorber, a critic for twitchfilms.com. Happy holidays.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Jason. Okay, the one film everyone is talking about is Scorsese's Wolf of Wall Street. A lot of people saying they're going to go watch it today. What do you think?
Yeah, it's amazing. It got delayed. Look, it's a long movie. It's certainly an investment. It's almost 3 hours long. And people are like, oh, I don't like long movies.
But that's like Scorsese style, right?
Exactly. And what's great about it is that you have this filmmaker that's continuing to push the edge. Basically, the man who is most celebrated for a bunch of his gangster films, particularly things like Goodfellas, Casino, has here tackled a very sort of weird niche thing about Wall Street, namely off-site penny stock traders, basically guys that run a boiler room. And you have here the biggest special effect in the entire film is obviously Leo DiCaprio, who's terrific in this film. There's so much madness and insanity and hubris and gratuitous spending that it's just a lot of fun to actually spend a lot of time. But honestly, there's two films also playing this holiday. There's also American Hustle, which is David O. Russell, who's very much doing a Scorsese thing. And what's really interesting is that in some ways O. Russell's is more sort of Scorsese shtick. Scorsese here, the actual Scorsese, is really pushing the boundaries a little bit more. There's a bunch of this movie that absolutely echoes things like Goodfellas, but there's also a ton that is absolutely out of left field compared to the other films that he's made. And the fact that at his age, he is still pushing the boundaries, this is a film to be celebrated. God bless Martin Scorsese and God bless Wolf of Wall Street.
What do you mean like that he's pushing the boundaries? Is it not more of a commercial-ish kind of film?
No, well, it's certainly, look, it's a mainstream film, but obviously it also has a lot of art film sensibilities because it's still Martin Scorsese. I mean, look, it is shocking what the characters actually get into. But from a filmmaker point of view, there are certain scenes. There's a magnificent scene, I don't want to spoil too much, of Leo crawling to a car, which is just bravado. It's just like you've never seen anything like this in Scorsese's filmmaking. And as I said, here's a guy who could absolutely be repeating himself. His last big thing was Hugo, this 3D sort of love letter to the films of Méliès. So many filmmakers get into this weird rut, and look, Scorsese made Aviator and Gangs of New York, which I thought we were starting to see sort of the dip in his career. But then he hit it out of the park with stuff like Departed, and we're really seeing almost a renaissance of this character. It's great. And
Spike Jonze's Her is out in theaters. Tell me about that. People are talking about this.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this film. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, and it stars Scarlett Johansson as the voice of his operating system that he falls in love with. It's a very high-concept film. Again, I liked it a lot. I didn't love it. There are people that this is absolutely their favorite film of the year. For me, it's like a 20-minute idea that gets stretched into 2 hours. I was a little bit off-put by the end, but it is absolutely something worth checking out. Spike Jonze, again, super interesting filmmaker, a guy who's always pushing up boundaries. And yeah, it's this weird sort of it's one of those interesting sci-fi conceits. There's a film just slightly set in the future, so you can actually tell really interesting things about our own culture through the medium of what's ostensibly what we normally call science fiction. It's an intellectual film, but it's also a very sweet film because there's a genuine connection between them all. It's definitely worth checking out.
That's interesting. Okay, and Grudge Match?
Yeah, Grudge Match. Here's the opposite. So here's a guy trading on the history of Scorsese. You basically have Raging Bull fighting Rocky, and this film is terrible. I wanted it to be sort of good bad. It is just bad.
It's really hard to get a negative review out of you. You love the movie.
It's embarrassing that these two are in this film. It's an embarrassment to their legacies, and I really wanted to like this film, and it is just awful. Please avoid and go see some of the many amazing films playing this holiday season. 12 Years a Slave, Inside Llewyn Davis. There's so many things worth seeing. Don't bother with Grudge Match.
How would you compare this year to other Christmas years, quickly?
Honestly, it's been a really amazing year, and what we're seeing is a ton of incredible films. Many of them are going to be up for Oscars. Definitely go check them out. As I said, it's been an incredible year, but it's so back heavy. All the films are coming out now, so just spend the next week in cinema. It's the best way to spend it.
Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go right now. Thanks.
All the best.
Bye.